I never thought I would find myself standing in the living room, suitcase at my feet, feeling utterly abandoned. My mother, once my rock, stood before me with her arms crossed, a mix of guilt and determination etched on her face. "I can't believe you're actually doing this, Mom," I said, my voice trembling. "After everything we've been through, you're just going to throw me out?" She shifted uncomfortably, her expression softening for a moment before hardening again. "It's not like that, Jess. I'm trying to build a new life. I thought you'd understand." Understand? How could I possibly understand being replaced? I felt my heart race as I confronted her. "You've moved on and now I'm just—" "What? An inconvenience?" The tension in the room thickened as she insisted I was an adult and needed to stand on my own 2 feet. Tears brimmed in my eyes as I pleaded, "So this is it? You're just going to kick me out? What about college? You promised you'd help me." Her hesitation spoke volumes, and I felt a mix of anger and despair. "I will help you, but you need to take responsibility," she said, her voice rising. I shook my head, hurt and anger mixing within me. "You're asking me to pay for my own college after you kicked me out? How is that fair?" The words hung in the air, and I could see the frustration spilling over in her eyes. "Life isn't fair, Jess. You need to grow up and face reality." I took a step back, my voice breaking as I whispered, "I thought you were my mom. I thought you'd always be there for me." But she wasn't. I picked up my suitcase, my heart heavy with the weight of her choices. "I hope you're happy with your new family, Mom, because I'm not part of it anymore." With that, I stormed out, leaving her standing alone, regret etched on her face. As I walked down the street, my suitcase rolling behind me, I felt a mix of anger and despair. I stopped at a park bench, sitting down heavily, feeling the weight of my situation. I pulled out my phone, scrolling through my contacts, hesitating before dialing my best friend, Lucy. "Hey, Jess. What's up?" She answered cheerfully, but I could barely hold back my tears. "Lucy, I need help. My mom kicked me out." There was a pause on the other end, and I could hear the concern in her voice. "Oh my God, what?" "Why?" I took a deep breath, trying to steady my voice. "She said she's starting a new family, and I'm just in the way." I could hear her gasp, her sympathy washing over me. "That's awful. Where are you right now?" I told her I was at the park, feeling lost and scared. "You can stay with me for a while. My parents won't mind," she said, and I felt a flicker of hope ignite within me. "Really? You'd do that for me?" I asked, my voice trembling. "Of course, you're my best friend. We'll figure this out together." I hung up, determination replacing despair. I stood up, adjusting my suitcase, and headed towards Lucy's house, feeling a sense of relief wash over me. When I arrived at Lucy's house, I was greeted by the warmth of her family. The living room was cozy, filled with posters and photos of us, and I felt a sense of belonging that I desperately needed. Lucy entered with snacks, her face brightening the atmosphere. "Here, eat something. You need to keep your strength up," she said, handing me a snack. I took it, my hands trembling slightly as I tried to process everything that had happened. "Thanks. I can't believe my mom would do this to me," I admitted, my voice barely above a whisper. Lucy sat beside me, concern etched on her face. "It's not your fault, Jess. She's the one who's being unreasonable." I looked down, feeling the weight of my emotions. I thought she loved me. I thought family meant something. Lucy placed a comforting hand on my shoulder, and I felt a flicker of hope. It does mean something, but sometimes people lose sight of what really matters. I wiped my eyes, trying to regain my composure. "I just don't know how I'm going to pay for college now. It was supposed to be our plan." Lucy leaned in, her voice firm. "We'll figure it out. You're smart and you can get scholarships." I nodded, a flicker of hope returning. "I guess I could apply for more scholarships." Lucy smiled encouragingly. "Exactly. And I'll help you with the applications. We'll make a list of everything you need." I took a deep breath, feeling a sense of camaraderie. Thank you, Lucy. I don't know what I'd do without you. She grinned, her spirit infectious. You'll never have to find out. We're in this together. We shared a moment of silence, the weight of the situation still heavy, but a sense of hope beginning to blossom. The days passed, and I found myself sitting at Lucy's kitchen table, surrounded by papers and my laptop. We were deep in the process of applying for scholarships, and I felt a sense of determination building within me. Okay, this one says I need to write about my goals, I said, typing away. Lucy leaned over, reading the prompt. You've got this. Just be honest about what you want to achieve. I nodded, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. I want to be a doctor. I want to help people to make a difference. Lucy's eyes lit up with excitement. You'll be a doctor. I smiled, feeling surge of confidence. I just need to through this. I can't let my mom's choices dictate my future. We continued working the atmosphere filled with determination and hope. As the night wore on, my phone buzzed. I glanced at it, a message from my mother. You're okay. I still to help college. My heart raced, a of emotions flooding my mind. She wants to help, I whispered, unsure of how to feel. Lucy looked over, sensing the shift in my mood. What is it? I showed her the message, uncertainty clouding my face. I don't know if I can trust her anymore. Lucy nodded, understanding the complexity of the situation. It's your choice, Jess. Just remember, you have options now. I took a deep breath, my voice steady. I'll think about it. But right now, I need to focus on my future. We shared a determined look, ready to face whatever came next together. A few days later, I found myself sitting at the kitchen table, papers spread out before me. My phone rang, and I saw it was my mother again. Hesitating, I answered. Hello? I said, my voice shaky. Jess, I've been thinking about everything. Can we talk? My heart raced, a mix of anger and longing. What's there to talk about? You made your choice. There was a pause, the tension thick in the air. I know I hurt you, but I want to help with college. I can't just abandon you. My frustration bubbled over. You already did abandon me. You chose your new family over me. I could hear her voice soften, filled with regret. I didn't mean to hurt you. I thought you'd be okay on your own. I felt my heart ache, torn between anger and love. I'm not okay, Mom. I'm scared and alone. Her voice broke, filled with emotion. I'm sorry, Jess. I want to make it right. I took a deep breath, my voice steady. If you want to help, then be there for me. Not just with money, but with support. Her silence spoke volumes. I promise to support you. I'll help with applications, whatever you need. I nodded, feeling a flicker of hope. Okay, but I need you to be honest with me. No more secrets. She reached across the table, taking my hand. I promise. I want to rebuild our relationship. I squeezed her hand, a sense of understanding beginning to blossom between us. As I sat in Lucy's house that night, I felt a mix of emotions swirling within me. I had talked to my mom, and while I was still hesitant, I felt a glimmer of hope. Lucy entered the room, sensing my turmoil. Hey, what's going on? You look worried. I looked up, my voice trembling. I talked to my mom. She wants to help with college, but I don't know if I can trust her. Lucy sat beside me, concern etched on her face. It's a tough situation, but you have to do what's best for you. I nodded, my mind racing. I want to believe her, but what if she just hurts me again? Lucy placed a comforting hand on my shoulder. You're strong, Jess. You can handle this. Just take it one step at a time. I took a deep breath, my voice steady. I think I'll give her a chance, but I need to set boundaries. Lucy smiled, proud of my resolve. That's a great idea. You deserve to be treated with respect. I nodded, feeling a sense of empowerment. I won't let her control my life anymore. We shared a moment of understanding, ready to face whatever came next together. A few days later, I found myself sitting across from my mother at a small table in a coffee shop. The atmosphere was tense, and I could feel the weight of our past hanging over us. She fidgeted with her coffee cup, her eyes filled with regret. "I'm really sorry for everything, Jess. I never meant to hurt you," she said, her voice trembling. I took a deep breath, my voice steady as I replied, "I know you didn't, but it still hurt. I need you to understand that." She nodded, her expression earnest. "I want to help you with college, but I also want to be part of your life again." My heart softened, but I remained cautious. "I appreciate that, but I need to see actions, not just words." Her eyes filled with determination as she promised, "I promise to support you. I'll help with applications, whatever you need." I nodded, feeling a flicker of hope. "Okay, but I need you to be honest with me. No more secrets." She reached across the table, taking my hand. "I promise. I want to rebuild our relationship." I squeezed her hand, feeling a sense of understanding beginning to blossom between us. As I sat at Lucy's kitchen table that night, surrounded by papers and my laptop, I felt a sense of purpose. I had given my mom a chance, and while it was still a work in progress, I felt hopeful. Lucy entered the room, a smile on her face. "How's it going with your mom?" she asked. I looked up, my expression brightening. "We talked, and I think we're on the right path. She wants to help with college." Lucy's eyes widened with excitement. "That's amazing. I'm so proud of you for giving her a chance." I nodded, my heart swelling with hope. "It's not going to be easy, but I feel like we're starting to rebuild our relationship." Lucy sat beside me, a supportive presence. "You're strong, Jess. You've come so far." I smiled, feeling a sense of empowerment. "I won't let my past define me. I'm ready for a new beginning." We shared a moment of understanding, ready to face whatever comes next together, knowing that we had each other's backs, the illusion of perfection. The sun set over the city, casting a warm glow through the window of Emma's 24 apartment. She sat on the couch, scrolling through her phone, a smile spreading across her face as she looked at pictures of her boyfriend, Alex, 25. He was everything she had ever wanted. Charming, funny, and incredibly supportive. They had been together for over a year, and Emma often found herself daydreaming about their future together. One evening, they decided to host a small gathering with friends. Emma was excited to introduce Alex to her diverse group of friends who came from various backgrounds. As the night unfolded, laughter filled the room, and the atmosphere was electric. Alex was in his element, charming everyone with his wit and charisma. Emma felt a sense of pride as she watched him interact with her friends, feeling grateful for the love they shared. However, as the night progressed, the conversation took a turn. One of Emma's friends, James, 26, mentioned a recent news story about racial tensions in the city. Alex's demeanor shifted, and Emma noticed a flicker of discomfort in his eyes. "I just don't understand why people can't just get over it," Alex said, his tone dismissive. Emma's heart sank as she listened to him speak. "What do you mean?" she asked, trying to gauge his perspective. "I mean, it's not like it's that big of a deal. People need to stop playing the victim," Alex replied, shrugging it off. The room fell silent, and Emma felt a wave of tension wash over her. She exchanged glances with her friends who looked equally uncomfortable. "That's not fair, Alex. People experience real discrimination," Emma said, her voice steady but filled with concern. Alex rolled his eyes, clearly annoyed. "I just think people need to toughen up. It's not my fault if they can't handle it." Emma felt her heart race as she processed his words. This wasn't the man she thought she knew. "But you can't just dismiss their experiences. It's important to listen and understand," she insisted, her voice rising slightly. Alex crossed his arms, his expression hardening. "I'm just being realistic, Emma. You can't change the world by coddling everyone." As the conversation continued, Emma felt a growing sense of unease. The man she loved was revealing a side of himself that she had never seen before. She tried to brush it off, convincing herself that everyone had different opinions, but deep down, she felt a knot tightening in her stomach. That night, as Emma lay in bed, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was fundamentally wrong. The illusion of perfection began to crack, and she realized that she had to confront Alex about his beliefs. But the thought of doing so filled her with dread. Days passed, and Emma found herself replaying the conversation in her mind. She felt a mix of anger and confusion, struggling to reconcile the man she loved with the racist comments he had made. Finally, she decided it was time to confront Alex. They met for dinner at their favorite restaurant, and Emma's heart raced as she prepared to address the elephant in the room. As they sat across from each other, Alex smiled, completely unaware of the turmoil brewing inside Emma. "You look beautiful tonight," he said, reaching across the table to take her hand. "Thanks, Alex. I need to talk to you about something important," Emma said, her voice steady but filled with apprehension. Alex raised an eyebrow, his expression shifting to one of curiosity. "What's on your mind?" Emma took a deep breath, gathering her thoughts. "It's about what you said the other night at the gathering. Your comments about race, they really bothered me." Alex's smile faded and he leaned back in his chair, crossing his arms defensively. "Oh, come on, Emma. I was just being honest." "Honest or not, it was hurtful. You can't dismiss people's experiences like that," Emma replied, her voice firm. Alex scoffed, clearly irritated. "I'm just saying what I think. People need to stop being so sensitive." Emma felt her heart race as she fought to keep her composure. "It's not about being sensitive. It's about understanding the struggles that others face. You can't just brush it off." Alex's expression hardened, and Emma could see the walls going up. "I don't see why you're making such a big deal out of this. It's just my opinion." "Your opinion matters, but so do the experiences of others. You can't just ignore that," Emma insisted, her voice rising slightly. Alex shook his head, frustration evident in his eyes. "You're being dramatic, Emma. I thought you were more open-minded than this." The words stung, and Emma felt a wave of hurt wash over her. "I am open-minded, but I can't stand by and let you say things like that without calling you out." Alex leaned forward, his tone sharp. "Maybe you should just accept that not everyone thinks the same way you do." Emma felt a knot tighten in her stomach. "I can accept that, but I can't accept racism. It's not okay." As the tension escalated, Emma realized that this conversation was a turning point in their relationship. The man she loved was revealing a side of himself that she couldn't ignore. She felt a mix of sadness and anger as she contemplated the future of their relationship. The days following the confrontation were filled with tension and uncertainty. Emma felt a heavy weight on her shoulders as she grappled with the reality of Alex's beliefs. She tried to reach out to him, but he was distant, refusing to engage in conversations about race or their relationship. One evening, Emma decided to meet with her close friend, MIA, 25, to seek advice. They met at a cozy cafe, and Emma poured out her heart. "I don't know what to do, Mia. Alex is perfect in so many ways, but his views on race are just wrong." MIA listened intently, her expression serious. "It's a tough situation, Emma. You can't ignore something so fundamental to who he is." "I know, but I love him. I thought we shared the same values," Emma replied, her voice filled with frustration. "Love isn't always enough. You need to consider whether you can accept him for who he is, even if that means accepting his flaws," MIA said gently. Emma felt a wave of sadness wash over her. "But I can't accept racism. It goes against everything I believe in." MIA nodded, understanding the conflict within her friend. "You have to decide what's more important, your love for him or your values. It's a hard choice." As Emma left the cafe, she felt a sense of clarity beginning to emerge. She realized that she couldn't compromise her beliefs for the sake of a relationship. The thought of continuing to date Alex while knowing his views on race felt like a betrayal to herself and to those who faced discrimination. That night, Emma sat on her bed, contemplating her next steps. She knew she had to have another conversation with Alex, but this time it would be different. She needed to be honest about her feelings and the future of their relationship. The following day, Emma called Alex and asked to meet. As they sat across from each other, she felt a mix of anxiety and determination. "We need to talk about where we stand," she said, her voice steady. Alex looked at her, his expression guarded. "What do you mean? I can't be with someone who holds racist beliefs. It goes against everything I stand for," Emma said, her heart racing. Alex's expression hardened, and Emma could see the anger bubbling beneath the surface. "So, you're just going to throw everything away because of one disagreement?" "It's not just one disagreement, Alex. It's a fundamental difference in values," Emma replied, her voice firm. As the conversation unfolded, Emma felt a sense of empowerment. She was standing up for her beliefs, refusing to compromise her values for the sake of a relationship. But as Alex's anger grew, she realized that this was the end of their love story. The aftermath of the breakup left Emma feeling a mix of sadness and relief. She had made the difficult decision to prioritize her values over her relationship, and while it hurt, she knew it was the right choice. In the weeks that followed, she focused on healing and rediscovering herself. Emma spent time with friends, engaged in activism, and sought out communities that aligned with her beliefs. She found solace in connecting with others who shared her passion for social justice and equality. The support of her friends helped her navigate the emotional turmoil of the breakup, and she began to feel a sense of empowerment. One evening, Emma attended a local rally advocating for racial equality. As she stood among a diverse crowd, she felt a sense of belonging and purpose. The energy in the air was electric, and she realized that she was part of something bigger than herself. As she listened to speakers share their stories, Emma felt a renewed sense of hope. She was no longer defined by her past relationship. She was forging her own path. The experience ignited a fire within her, and she knew she wanted to make a difference in the world. In the months that followed, Emma became more involved in activism, using her voice to advocate for change. She found fulfillment in standing up for what she believed in, and the pain of her past began to fade.